Hello, Julie here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, thank you for joining me, and I hope you come back and watch some more of my videos. If you've been watching my videos for a while, thank you, I appreciate it, and I hope you are going to enjoy this video. Now, this video is a window flips from Roxy's Weekly Challenge for week number 9. I've seen this created in a couple of different ways, one way using a window envelope and one using just starting from scratch. So I'm going to attempt both of them today. Okay, so let's get started doing it the way that Rachel did it on her actual challenge. So I'm going to trim this envelope up so it's a bit neat and tidy. And also she only used like the one layer. So I'm just trimming off the barest essential on the 3 edges. And then I'm going to open this out and leave about a ½ an inch here, because that's going to be how my pocket is attached to my journal. I've actually gone out a bit more than ½ an inch there, just to be on the safe side. So this is a scrap, we can use that for something else maybe. So here we have our flip out pocket. So now I'm going to cover this. I've got some Edith Holden pages here, and I'm going to just tear them up. Perhaps if I go, first of all I'm going to tear that off there. Then I'll measure that against that, put a little mark, yeah. And is that going to be, it's not going to be quite long enough, but that's all right. I'll need a mat, don't I, if I'm going to be tearing. About there. I can always trim this off if there's a little bit too much on there. So I actually am going to trim that off there as well, and off the bottom a bit, because I'd rather just have all text there, and that can be stuck on there like so. And perhaps this piece here I could put down here. So let's measure that. I'm going to cut that bird's head off if I do that. So I'll have to drop that down. So trim that off across there. And then I can adjust the length on that. So that will go there. Trim that off there. Okay, so we don't want all of that on there then, do we? So I'll trim that off about there. Then we can. So now I'm just going to fast forward through this section because I'm just tearing pieces of paper down to cover the front of this flip. Okay, so we're going to end up with that on this side. So I'm going to use my glue stick and attach those. I'm using a Bostik glue stick, and I want some scrap paper, and go ahead and stick these down. I probably should have inked around the edge of each one of those individual papers, but I forgot to do that, so now I'm just going to use Vintage Photo to ink around the edge of the whole item. I don't want to cut my flip off, so I think I might use my trimmer. It's probably a bit safer. I'm not the best with a pair of scissors in my hand. Whoops. So just because I have cut through that, I will just add a bit of normal sticky tape to sort of reinforce that. So I'm going to use my brush and finish inking around the outside edge of that flip. Then I'm going to go ahead and cover the back of the flip exactly the same way as I did the front. I've got it on very fast forward, so you don't have to sit and watch me do that. Okay, so here we have our flip. Now, Rachel made a pocket on the inside, so I will do that. So what am I going to use to make a pocket? I've got this embossed sheet of paper, and I could use that, I think. So what size is this? It's 4 3/4, and I'm going to make my pocket, say, 3 inches high. So if I cut 4 3/4, so I'll cut it 5 3/4 by, what did I say, 3.5? Or 3? 3 inches. I think I'll make 3-inch pocket. 3-inch pocket. And now I'm going to, so that's 4 3/4. So I want to make it 4.5. So I'm going to cut my paper 5.5 inches because I'm going to put a little, you know, fold thing on each edge, so that when it's stuck in here, you get the full width of the pocket. So to do that, I'm going to need my scoreboard. Here we go. I'm going to score it 1/2 inch and 5 inches. 1/2 inch and 5 inches. Then I'm going to fold this back, furnish that down. So this is a nice cream cardstock that's already embossed. Do I have a brand? Yeah, it's K & Company. So I don't think they even exist anymore. I've had this in my stash for a very long time. They used to make some really nice papers, and yeah, but they're not around anymore, I don't think. So now I'm going to stick that down. Stick that onto there. Leaving a little border all the way around, including the bottom, just so that things sit nicely. You know, you don't want things to catch. There we go. So now we've got our flip, our pocket, and the front of our little pocket envelope. So we're going to put a tag in here so that it shows through there. Like so. Now, we could embellish this. We could put something on here and put something on the front here as well. So first of all though, I think I'll make the other one so that we can then just embellish both of them at once. Now, I'm going to get my journal so that I can work out what size I want to actually make this one. The one that I've made with the envelope, I think, is going to be too big for this journal. Yeah. So I'm going to, this one that I'm making now, I'm going to make to fit inside this journal. So, any page, just let's measure it. So the actual page is 6, 7, 8, well it's 8 books, so it's 8 1/4 by, oh, let's say 5 1/2. So I'm going to make this next one say 7 1/2 inches by 4 1/2. So to do that, I'm going to use this same paper. So what did I say? 7 1/2 by 4 1/2. So I need to cut it, say, 5 inches wide. And 7 1/2 inches tall. And I will score this at 1/2 inch. Is this directional? Yeah, I think I like it going that way. So I'll score 1/2 inch from this edge because I want this one to open that way. So I'm scoring at 4 1/2 inches there. Hold that back, score that down, and let's see how that fits in my journal. So that will go like so. Yep, happy with that. Good size. Okay, now the next thing I have to do is cut a rectangle out of this so that we can, you know, make the window. So I'm going to use my Hero Arts Infinity dies in the rectangle shape. I'm just going to figure out what size I want in there. Thinking maybe this size, if I can get it off. Maybe about that size. I mean, I know it's wider than that, but I'm not too worried about that. So it's shorter and wider, but my tag is shorter. So do I want to try a narrower one? So that one is about the same width as that. So I could go for that. But I think I'd prefer a bit bigger window actually. Probably not that big. Maybe that big. I think I'm going to go for that size. So because I have changed the size of my actual flip thing, this so the size of this one is 1 3/4 by 3. 1 3/4 by 3 inches. So I'm going to go to my Big Shot and cut that out, and then I'll be right back. So I've cut that window out of there, and while I was there I also used this die, which is a couple of dies up from that one, to cut a frame from the same cardstock, and I also cut a piece of acetate. So this is the acetate, and I'm going to put that on there, and then this frame is exactly the same size as that acetate, so that will cover that up perfectly. Now I'm just trying to decide whether I want that on the front or the back with the frame, and I'm going to ink around the frame before I attach it to the acetate. I'll ink around the outside and the inside. I think I need to ink the back, but I will ink the actual cutout itself. They should line up perfectly. If they don't, it will be through an error on my behalf, because they are cut with exactly the same die, so there's no reason they shouldn't match up. So first thing I'll do is I'll use some of this really thin tape to put around the edge of my acetate. I'm putting it all the way around, solid line of it, because I want it to have the best chance of it staying attached. Acetate can be a bit tricky sometimes, and I'll probably add a little bit of liquid glue to this tape as well, just to hedge my bets, as the saying goes. Burnish that down so that I know that it's got a good attachment to the acetate. I was going to say I'll just peel some of the corners off and line it up, makes it easier to line it up, but if I want to attach some glue, I suppose I could have attached the glue to the back of the frame. It isn't even stuck on there. Nothing stuck there either. Well, that's no good to start off with, is it? Let's try again. Oh, that's not sticking at all. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go with glue, which is a bit fiddly when you're using acetate. So what I'm going to do is use my fine pointed glue and just stay as far away from the acetate area as I can. So I'm just adding it to the outside edge, not very straight.
And then I will position that on top of the acetate. Oh, I've already got glue everywhere on it. So, take the acetate and position it on top of that, like so, and then we can push it out so that we're not pushing the glue down towards the acetate. So now we've got our little window all ready to. Okay, now I'm going to put that onto there, like so. So we're going to end up with our window. Once again, glue, not too heavy. Try and keep it away from the acetate area. Try and get it in position first time. Otherwise, if we have to move it, we may well get acetate, glue on our acetate. Okay, that looks pretty good actually. Give that a bit of a burnish. Okay, so there we have our base. Now I'm not going to decoupage on that because I'm quite happy with that as a surface. So all I'm going to do now is embellish this. And on the inside, what am I going to do on the inside? Will I decoupage that or what? I'll think about that and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've got a collection of stuff here to embellish my envelopes or my flips. They're not really envelopes anymore, are they? So I'm going to start. I want to have some texture on them, some fabric. So I'm going to start with some lace, and I was thinking, because I'm not that keen on, see that doesn't exactly match up there, so I think I'm going to cover that up, and I'm going to do that using some of this lace. Just going to overlap that like that, and I'm just going to put that much on there. So I'll cut that. Run a bead of glue along the edge of that. And then attach my lace. Which way is the right side? That side. So I'm just going to put it there, as I said, so that that edge just overlaps that window. I don't want to cover the window up too much. Now that I know where that's going to go, I'm just going to run a row or a bead of glue down there as well to hold that in place. Now this one's got a frame around it, so I don't think I need to do anything around the window of that. If something overlaps it, I'm not worried about that. Now I've got this ruffle that's made from sewing pattern, and I've just stitched down the middle of it with my sewing machine, sort of folding it over as I go. I'm not sure, I might embellish this one along the bottom, have something taller going up that way, and this one I'll have something taller going this way because I've got that cute bird there. So I've got these sort of like bookmarks that came in a, oh, that's nice. Oh, that looks alright on that. They came in a mystery box from Paper Inspirations one month. So I'm going to round the corners on this. Not that anything else on the flip has got rounded corners, but I think this looks better with rounded corners. And I'm going to ink the edge of it if I can find my ink. Bit of a dag there. Cut that off. got it, and just ink around the edge. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on there like that on an angle. I won't stick it down just yet. Anything could change before the final version happens. Now I've got this little vellum ticket as well. I want to put that there, or I've got something like that, but that's too heavy, I think. Got this ticket, but that covers, unless I put that there, then put this one over the top of it. Gets a bit lost, I think. What about something like this under there? Just brings that purple through a little bit more. What else have we got? What about a ticket? A label, I mean. I don't want to go over that bird. So perhaps if I put a label like that and that like that. And the lace, that may even be enough. Got a butterfly I'll put that on there. I've got some stamps here. Let's see if there's anything that might. That one looks quite nice there. Butterfly's too colourful, I think. I'll go for something like that up there. And that there, and that there, and I think that might do it, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those down. Okay, so that's the front of our flip out. If we turn it over, we need to, well, we want something to put in there, but what can we decorate the pocket with? Got that, that I could put over there. What else have we got here? There's nothing there that's going to be big enough, I don't think. It's the same size, but it's more pinky, so I think I prefer that one. What else? What else could we put there? So if we put that on there, and then we could put even if we draw a bit of this. Put that down there. Tear that off a bit more. We can move that over there like so. Do we want it to cover the whole thing now, or should we just tear a bit of that? Tear the edge. Let that stick out. I'm going to tear some of the top off of that. It's too long. Tear some of the top off of that. I'm going for a tall look. tear that down there, about there. This is like, well, sort of similar actually to the feel of vellum, but it's not see-through. I don't really know what sort of paper it is. Put that and that. So we stagger those out like that. Like that, and then we can put a little label on there. Or, label. Blue label. The blue. There's a octagonal blue label. What about a stamp? It's too big. Maybe just a stamp like that. Or we could put a bit of gauze behind it. Now I'm going to just ink this up a little bit because I don't want it to be white. Okay, and just fray that out a little bit, pull it sort of out of shape. And then pop that in between those layers there. Yeah. I think I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to ink around the edge of each of those elements and attach them to the pocket. The Edith Holden pages that you can see I'm using here, I bought one of her books, you know, The Diary of a Country Lady, and I just haven't got it in me to cut it up as yet. So I scanned some of the pages into my computer and I've printed them out, and I'm just using those in the hope that I'll get used to cutting things up like this. I do only have the one book, and if I can find another one, well then perhaps I might be more inclined to cut this first one up. It's a bit too bright. So I'm going to just lightly rub my okay. So we've got a pocket there, and I will be putting a tag in there, so most of this will be covered up, so I don't think I need to do any more decorating there. I should have inked around this pocket before I attached it. So if you're going to do something like this, just bear that in mind. Actually, I'm just going to slightly angle that because it just makes it a bit easier when you're attaching it to your page. You've got bits and pieces poking out. Okay, so do I want to put something on there or not? No, I think that will be fine. So that will sit there, it'll open that way, I'll have a tag in there, and the tag will show through the pocket. Okay, so that's that one. Now this one, I haven't put a pocket on the back of this one yet, so I should do that. I can use this same paper, and I could add the cream, or should I put a white pocket on it? Or should I cover the whole thing with this cream? Dilemmas, dilemmas, eh? Dilemmas, dilemmas. I could use some of this. I found another piece of paper about the same colour. It's definitely not the same pattern, but it's close enough to the same colour for me to be happy with. So I've covered all around here, and I've cut my pocket, so I've cut it exactly the same as the last one, 5.5 inches by 3 inches, and I've scored 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. I have remembered to ink around the edge of this one, so I'm going to now attach that to my flip. Once again, I'm going to leave a little bit of room on each side. Once again, I've managed to get glue on the acetate. It's unbelievable. Doesn't matter how much I try, I end up with glue everywhere. So let's just burnish that down. Make sure we get a nice solid stick. Okay, so we've got the front done. The inside is covered. This, I'm going to decorate this now. Now I could use, that's not big enough. So let's have a look at what we can put on there. So that's a bit too big. That's a lot too big. We could put some layers in here. Go with something like this to tone that down a little. There. And perhaps something, what about that? Pink, rose there, and what else have we got here? Got this lilac, or lavender should I say. We could go something like that. Put that down a bit. We could put a row of lace along the bottom. And then that could go over the top of that. We'll put the picket edge down. And that could go over the top of that. We could tear that a little. And the side probably. So that could go there like that, and then that could go over the top of that. Then we could have our lavender. The lavender could come down like that. And then our little pink rose. Could trim that down a little more, and it could sort of cover up Actually, I'm going to move this over this way, and I'm going to move that over that way. Yep. I'm going to tear this down a little bit. Okay, so that can go there. Okay. Yeah, I want it to step out there a little bit. Once these are inked around, they'll stand out more. And then we could put a little label there. We want a tuck that in behind there like that, maybe. What do we think of that? Yeah, I think that looks alright. So that's what I'll do. First of all, I'll cut a straight edge on this lace, if that's at all possible. And cut it off about there. And we'll stick that down first. So run a bead of glue along here, and which way is the right way? I think it's that way. And just let that picket edge come to the bottom of the flip out. Now start inking edges. Inking is of course optional, but I do like the look of it. I do like stitching too, but I haven't got my sewing machine out at the moment, so I'm not going to be stitching on this particular item. I'm just wondering, I might stamp on that. I've got some little numbers here, these little stamps with numbers, so I might just use that and some. I'm going to use this festive berries, though. Do I want to use festive berries because I've got pink right next to it? So perhaps not festive berries. So I'll try the Victorian velvet because that's a bit more pinkish. Okay. Is this actually working? Let's check. Yep. So 6. Not very level, but that doesn't really matter. I'm not going to see that. I might put a 1 out here. There we go. And now I'll stick this one down. Okay, so there we have our pocket, where we will put a tag in. Make sure that's stuck properly. Okay, so we've got a place for our tag. Now we need to decorate the front. Now I am not covering the front, I'm going to leave it this cream colour, and I'm going to have a ruffle along the bottom, so I'm going to cut that about there. And what else? What else will we have? We want a no, it's too much like the other one. Okay, so I'm going to go and have a look for some more embellishments to put on here, and I'll use that and save that. Get a nicer one than that, maybe. That's the same. Just looking to see if I've got one that's slightly smaller. Looks like they're all the same size. I could fussy cut around that. I'll trim this one down a little bit. Put that there. Yeah, I don't mind that. And something, one more little thing, I think. Something in a neutrally sort of. And that's going the wrong way. I wanted it to go this way. Oh, I've got a circular one here. So I could use that. Perhaps pop that circular one down there. Yeah. Yep. I'm happy with that. What do you think? So I'm basically going to call those flip outs finished. I do have to make some tags to go in them, but I will do that at a later date. Otherwise this video is going to be a whole afternoon's worth. Okay, so there we have our two flip outs. One made with a window envelope and some Edith Holden papers, so I've kept that bottom section there unadorned so that we can still see that lovely bird. And that one flips out that way, and we have a pocket here where we will put a tag in, but the tag will be long enough to go up behind the window. So that is that one. And this one flips out the other way. Now this one's smaller and I made it from scratch, and I've used acetate to create the window. This one flips out from this side, and I've decoupaged in here, and I've got my pocket there, and once again tag will go in there. Okay, so I have added a couple of extra things here. I had some threads left over from some sari silk that I tore, and these sort of came away from it. So there's some gold thread and some green thread in there. So I've just tucked that in behind that little ticket. And I've also added this little label up here. I have got a video showing how I created that, so I'll link that in the description box below if you want to see how that came together. Now I'm going to add this to my journal. don't know where, perhaps here in the centre of my journal. So I might just add that to the page there. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can stick it that way, or you can hook it over the page. I think I'm going to try sticking it flat on here. First of all, I need something to hold this down. This little pot of goodies here that I might stick on there. And now I'm going to take my liquid blue, run along this, and make sure I've got it up the right way, and attach that so that it's level with the edge of my page. So swing that around that way, move that there. So I want that to be level with the edge. Okay, give it a good bit of pressure. And that should attach that. And now, when we open, oops, okay, so now it folds in and out. And once we've got our tag in there, there'll be something pretty to look at through there. I'm really enjoying doing these Roxy's Weekly Challenge. Even though I don't do every one, it does give me a lot of ideas of things I can put into my journal. So I won't do every one, but I will do as many as I can. And yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video, and I will put a link to Roxy's video in the description box below if you want to see her video. So yeah, I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.